time for some more 2v2. A lot of Astartes in the game today. We got Big Mathis playing as the Apothecary, matching up with his regular 2v2 partner, Dark Riku, playing the Tech Marine. Their opponents, Inekura, also a Tech Marine, and Valerio playing as a Chaos Lord. Love it. Bit of 2v2 action. Interesting map, Judgment of Carrion. Very, very laney map. I mean, you can see here, this is super laney on the edges here. And this is another one of those weird maps like Golgotha Depths. You've only got one natural power. So you see natural power and natural power. Wreck, 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 wreck. Therefore, if you want a second gen farm, you need to set these on the edges of the map. So you get a lot of serious fights on the peripheries of this map, and you'll notice with the positioning here, look at how narrow the approach is, right? And there's nothing behind here. What do you think is going to happen when you've got Tech Marine, Tech Marine? Yeah, it's a very good map for turrets. So you can take those gens, put a turret down here, cover literally all of this positioning. You can't wipe it unless you have a jump unit or an infiltrating unit, because you can't flank it. So that's definitely going to be impactful. Now Valerio is the Chaos Lord, so he could technically use Worship, sprint his Chaos Lord through, and then wipe the turret with Combi Flamer if there's no one there to support it. So that's nice to have that tool that's decent against turrets. But let's see how things play out. The mid is a bit more open. You can't just lock it down with one turret in the mid here. But the mid, well, it's very hard to get the power in the mid because it is too open. So the mid isn't that important actually. The lanes tend to be more important. Still, the mid has that VP, so it's often you get this sort of question of, do you focus more on the VPs or do you focus more on the power? Triple scouts for Innie. I guess snipers are going to be coming. I mean, when you're in this sort of laney fight against the Tactical Space Marines, snipers kind of feel obvious. Okay, I don't think quadruple is intentional. No, maybe triple wasn't even intentional. No, surely you wouldn't Overwatch scouts anyway. That doesn't make any sense. Innie really playing with fire there, forcing melee with his scouts and manages to retreat them away without a model loss. I have to say that's probably lucky. On the other hand, look at the HP on those Tactical Space Marines getting out of that model loss. GL ticks out already for Val. That's very fast GL ticks. 3 gens for Chaos, Val's built them all, and Big Mathis has built 2 of the gens here. Dark Riku's got 1, Big Mathis going into fast ASM, and Riku with fast devs. Devs against the Chaos Lord. I find this a bit strange, to be honest. I don't think devs are very good against the Chaos Lord in general, and especially when you've already seen that he has GL ticks on the field. Why do you want devs? I understand, of course, Riku is not playing the Apothecary, so he has a little bit less synergy with ASM, but still. I find this odd. Here we go, snipers coming up for Innie, as expected. That'll be good, but, you know, ASM are on the field here, and they've got that Apothecary support. We've got Sanguine Chainsword as well. Yes, I like this. Oh, beautiful. Turrets down. And Big Mathis was not ready for that. Even if he was ready for that, what can you do? There's Tax, Techie, and a shitload of ranged DPS here. So, you know, you jump the ASM, the scouts are just going to repair it, and you're going to get shot to shit.
Adding support structure.
So there's not really a lot that Mathis can do about that, to be honest. What they need to do now, Mathis and Riku, they need to do a big push into the mid, force a big 2v2 fight near the power farm, because obviously this power farm is very valuable to the red team. And when the red team relocate to defend that, send the ASM down to wipe out the turret. And he is leaving shotgun scouts over there. Don't know how that'll go. Yeah, it probably is very awkward actually, trying to kill the turret with even just basic shotgun scouts stood there, because they can shotgun blast you back into the line of the turret, and they can repair it and shoot you point blank, otherwise an ASM do not do very good damage. So that's awkward. But yeah, they're just going to have to push up here and claim this power, and look, there you go. That's exactly what Dark Riku's already done. So we see Dark Riku dropped 3 gens over here, wow. And has built the turret, so obviously mirroring Inekura's play there, seeing him do that. Raptors are here. Oh, beautiful bait there. Did you see that? Throwing the grenade to the side because he respects his opponent Val, and he knew that Val would dodge the grenade if he just threw it directly on the Raptors. But it was a bluff. The Raptors walked right into the grenade, took a load of damage. Chaos Lord got that Dark Halo now, making him a bit tankier, but no combi flamer, so it's going to be tough to take out that turret now. This turret positioning is not ideal here because you can actually flank it down this way, but also if you just sneak around here, it'll only suppress you for a bit and then you can get there. Obviously this route here is going to take a long time to get there. Right, I need to shut up right now because there's actually more important things going on. Big Mathis has took out all of the generators over here. A little bit of support from Dark Riku. In fact, Dark Riku has more units here. What am I talking about? No, he doesn't. Getting confused because the Apothecary is black here. Because it's Legion of the Damned, I assume. Why is the Apothecary black? I don't know. No, that's right. The Apothecary is Big Mathis. Dark Riku is known for being an Apothecary main, at least historically, so I'm getting super confused. Anyway, 3 gens taken out there. That's a beautiful gain for the blue team. Looking at the economy, blue team seems to be doing a lot better, and blue team are ahead on VPs too. But look what's happened here. Oh my god, this is a real vicious game, guys. Back and forths everywhere. Whilst that was happening, Inekura took the opportunity to send flame attacks of his own down to the gen farm here for the blue team, and wiped the entire thing and decapped it. You'll see that the turret positioning here for Inekura is far superior to Riku's. There is no way to flank this turret at all. Well, maybe if you're here, you might be able to shoot, I'm not sure because of this line of sight blocker, but it's certainly a lot harder. Sanguinapo calling in drop pod tax. Got to get out of there though, just too much DPS on him, can't heal through that. Tactical Marines in retreat, not going for the Apothecary. Doesn't matter, he goes down to the DPS anyway. These tax have to get out of there. So we start seeing some mines now being dropped, artificer mines. Do we have an aspiring champion? We got 2 aspiring champions for Val, so I don't know how effective these mines are going to be. Certainly if for whatever reason some of Innie's scouts come over this way and try and take the garrison, the mines could be effective. We'll have to see. Snipers going to deal with these devastators quite easily. The poor communication actually there from Val and Innie. There was no reason for the Raptors to jump in there when the snipers could easily have dispatched the devs themselves, and then he'd have the Raptors now to jump the turret and put pressure onto it. And they might actually have been able to get rid of this turret. I mean, they're still in play right now. In fact, the Tactical Space Marines are flanked around. You have a Combi Bolter, Combi Flamer, Chaos Lord, and they take out the turret. Wow. That's a big win. They're going to start bashing some of these generators. I don't know if they can finish it off. Maybe finish off one of the gens. No, they're alright, they're alright. The Chaos Lord's still there. Flank here from the Shotgun Sarge scouts of Big Mathis is going to force off these snipers. And the Tech Marine, it seems, did a bit of a misclick. I don't know why he retreated, that's a bit odd. Not really too much of an opportunity to take this still though, because Innie is keeping these scouts constantly down here, which is very annoying for Big Mathis. Now of course, when we do get into tier 2, the turrets are far less of a problem. When you've got Space Marines, well, even Chaos, you can just get P-Devs, or Chaos can get the Blastmaster, and then you can just attack ground and kill it from a distance. But it doesn't matter at that point. The whole point of these plays with the turrets, the power farms, is to secure that power lead, because just like Golgotha Depths, this is one of those maps where if you get a full 2nd gen farm early on, it can just snowball you into a victory. Now we see that Red Team did eventually manage to take out that gen farm. Oh my god, they're winning down here as well. I didn't see it. But how did that just happen? Maybe they just walked over here and then could shoot it to death. I don't know. Must have been, because the ASM weren't even involved. They've took out the turret down here. As I was saying over here, Red Team wiped the farm, but not before Blue Team managed to get a significant tech lead. Well, Seems actually Val's the only one who's behind. Innie is fairly on par with the blue team. He's a little bit behind, not much. 15 power behind Big Mathis, and about 30 power behind Dark Riku, given that he's got a Dreadnought coming en route at the moment. I think compositionally, red team are going to start struggling. Fully upgraded heretics, well, they're not going to do much tier 2. Snipers, not going to do much in tier 2. Whereas the blue team's units do scale a bit better. Librarian for Big Mathis could be useful. You can use the Gate of Infinity after his ASM jump into combat, kill a few scouts, and then Gate of Infinity them out so you don't have to worry about retreat grenades. Can be nice. Smite, obviously, on these blobs of infantry, doesn't hurt. Big Mathis has got double tax as well, so he can rock double missile launcher and deal with most vehicular threats. It's going to be a Blood Crusher for Val and a Dreadnought for Innie. Snipers are still doing their thing. So one difference here is we didn't see the blue team wipe the entire farm here. In fact, they stole it back. But now red team have took it back. And Riku is going for the same strategy, which I don't really know how I feel about this turret now at this point, because like I say, you've got Blastmasters, P-Devs and vehicles on the field, which can obviously all 1v1 the turret with ease. He has been building these mines, and the Blood Crusher won't see these mines. The mines won't do a lot of damage to the Blood Crusher, but they will snare it for a very long time, which could actually lead to its downfall. We'll have to see. Sternguard are coming out. Yeah, there's a Dreadnought here as well. This Blood Crusher is not going to be able to achieve too much here. Once the Blood Crusher's seen, we'll probably see the Melter Gun be purchased. What's going on down here? We've got the Melee Tech Marine coming out. He's got his Refractor Shield, the Axilla Mechanicum. Bionics is en route as well. Full Melee Tech Marine build. And a bit of support here from Val, jumping in with his Raptors, and that is going to be Big Mathis routed. Doesn't want this fight. Sees the Dreadnought though. So we've got Havocs coming out for Val Hero. Obviously going to be getting some counter to the Dreadnought, presumably a las cannon. Ooh, dodgy retreat path there. Oh, the Blood Crusher's pathing disrupted the Raptors. How annoying. Let's have a look at the power income. Yeah, very similar for both players, or for both teams. 56 for blue, 59 for red. Very even game. Big VP lead though to the blue team. Literally double the VPs. So that's definitely going to be impactful. Last cannon out for Mathis. We got the last cannon for Val. Now, when you're trying to take down these vehicles, especially these walkers, you really need to be doubling up with your teammate. Get the snare, and then double up with the teammate and output a lot of ranged DPS quickly in a burst, because obviously vehicles can't retreat. So if they get caught in a bad position where suddenly they're caught in a 2v1, they can retreat all their infantry just fine. They can't retreat their walker. You see now red team blobbing up for a big push. Just skirmishing with the snipers. Huge army here. Corn Marines on the field. So full melee focus for Val. Probably want to start spamming a few Plague Marines if you're Val. Maybe intentionally lose a few of these heretic models, start getting some shrines up in the middle. That said, P-Devs are now on the field for Riku. That will counter shrine players quite effectively. Though you can put the shrines behind here, and then it will give a damage boost to all nearby melee, and you can send the Bloodletters forward. Help protect your ranged backline a bit. I'm going to see some shrines down here. That's a little bit too far forward, I think. But okay. What we got over here? We got Plasma Gun Tactical Marines for Innie. See them melting those Tactical Marines right now. We're going to get an APO heal. We do, but not before the Sergeant is taken out. ASM jump forward to try and deal with the Plasma Gun attacks, but they're jumping into a melee Dreadnought, which is not ideal. Oh god, and a special attack into Plasma Guns. Not great. Skirmishing done by Dark Riku, but Val isn't interested in actually pressuring there, so he's just rotating down to his buddy. He's going to be too late to help really in this fight against Mathis, but it doesn't matter because now what's going to happen is the remnants of Innie's forces, including this Dreadnought, can team up with Val's and they can easily 2v1 Riku. So a bit of mispositioning there from Riku. Riku should be sending something to Gembash. No, it doesn't matter. Corn Berserkers are guarding it anyway. Look, he actually did send the Stern Guard to Gembash. And they're taking the garrison because they're scared of the Berserkers. Rightly so. Missile turret. Gonna get taken out by the devs? Nope. It lives, for whatever that's worth. Ooh, this is a very brave charge from the Blood Crusher. We've got a melee Dreadnought and a Melter Gun Tech Marine. Something needs to type this Tech Marine. The Blood Crusher's just going to charge the turret and it runs into a mine and that kills it. So the mine's putting in a bit of work here. Tech Marine's getting low. Big hit from that Aspiring Champion Raptor there. Could jump after him and kill him. Probably should. But what AV have we got? Not a whole lot of AV. Las Cannon kind of setting up in a dodgy position. Doesn't hit the Dreadnought. I don't think Riku has realised though there is a Las Cannon in the back line there. So he can't save his turret. Shouldn't even try. So turret taken out once again. Big Mathis is pushing his side. Oh, we've got Veil of Time on the Las Cannon. Forgot he had a Librarian. That will help him a bit. Yeah, so they take out the Shrine. They're capping this side. Still got all this power here. Big Mathis needs to make a decision here. What's he doing? Is he trying to cap it or is he going to just destroy it? He needs to hurry up. Sternguard will get outshot by the Tactical Marines, but not when a Librarian Smite comes in and does a solid 40% of the Tactical Marines' HP there. That was pretty big. Were they stimmed? A stimmed Smite? I'm not sure. There's a lot of damage from that Smite. Yeah. Last Cannon is snaring that Dreadnought. The scouts move in. They're going to try and hit it with a grenade. Oof, that was a lot of damage from that grenade. Not quite wiping the Las Cannon though, but this is awkward. If that Las Cannon had survived, could have been the end of this Dreadnought with a combined snare and the Sternguard DPS. But it looks like, yeah, melee Tech Marine routed. The Dreadnought's just going to be a nuisance, but no serious carnage happening there. Corn Berserkers and the Havoc on this Dread. It would definitely be dead if it didn't have the Blessings of the Omnissiah, but maybe the repairs from the Blessings of the Omnissiah will be enough to keep it alive. Probably so. Oh, it's okay, the Tech Marine's coming anyway. But P-Dev shot. Oh no, the P-Devs! I was just about to say, the fucking P-Devs might friendly fire this thing to death. Yeah! Oh, brutal, brutal. He just killed his Dreadnought with his own P-Devs. Fuck me, that feels bad. Yeah, I think he definitely would have got out as well. Jeez. Riku is putting some bleed onto Val though. I've seen him drop another 2 Raptor models there, Val. Going back and forth on the power. Power is now completely in the hands of the blue team. You'll see that players are starting to develop quite a surplus of power. That's to be expected. Requisition does become more valuable in the late game. But still, Innie and Dark Riku not got that much power. And both players are in tier 3, however, I didn't realise that. Yeah, so they're doing okay. Predator en route for Dark Riku. Not a great map for Predators. You want a big open map where there's lots of room to manoeuvre and flank. You don't want these laney maps where you just have to drive forward. It's not really the goal of tanks. But we'll see. The middle is a bit more open. I think I'd be going for Terminators though, not Predators, that's for sure. Terminators thrive in these laning environments with their high HP regen and super heavy infantry armor. What's going on here? He hasn't noticed the P-Devs are getting wiped by the ASM. And he's going to lose his P-Devs. P-Devs, you know, not only useful for taking out static structures like the shrines and the turrets, but they have a lot of value in defending the VPs in the late game. Because they do that ability knockback. Even Terminators can't cap under the fire of a P-Dev. That's great for ensuring you get some sort of VP lead going. A little bit of miss micro everywhere now. Big Mathis has units all over the place, to be fair. Retreating his devs here. He's got his ASM up top. We see retreat grenades going down on the Raptors. Wow, just missed that retreat grenade. If that was a clean hit, that'd have wiped them. SM and Librarian now pulling back. Red situation. A little bit more red for the blue team. But neither team has access to any nukes yet. They don't have enough red. All players are going to be tier 3 soon. Val will be the last there. Let's see how this plays out. So a lot of VPs for the blue team here. Still have over double the VPs that red have. Now Innie has gone for a Land Raider Redeemer. It's going to be very powerful. Obviously, team games, the Land Raider Redeemer is just so dominant. The ability for your ally to get healed by it and reinforce off of it, so powerful. P-Dev shots there, threatening the Corn Berserkers, but they retreat just in time. K-Slot just stalling. He does have that VP, so it's not bad for him. But he can't hold it much longer. What's going on down here? Big Mathis really failing to kill this Dreadnought. He's got Veil of Time on the Las Devs, but the TM every single time just turns on that Refractor Shield and runs straight for those Las Devs. I think maybe if there was a Mastercrafted Bolter on the Apothecary, he could stun the Tech Marine with that, and then they could focus fire the Tech Marine, and then obviously he'd have his last cannon be not tied up in melee, and he might have a bit more of a chance taking out that Dreadnought. I definitely see the value in getting the Sanguine Chainsword in the early game against snipers, but I think at this point, well, I think honestly quite a bit earlier in fact, you should have probably got the Bolter instead to try and control this Tech Marine. Because it's just been a pain. He can't kill the Tech Marine, and because of that he can't kill the Dreadnought because his last cannon never is free to fire. Regardless, we don't see any tier 3 purchases yet for Big Mathis or Val, but we've got the Land Raider Redeemer on the field. The Predator tank, of course, will find a nice purpose for its existence in hunting down that Land Raider Redeemer. If it gets the twin-linked last cannon, it will do very nice AV damage. And the Land Raider Redeemer only has its multi-melter on top. You see it there. To use against vehicles. The problem with that is it's short range. So if you actually micro your tank correctly, the Land Raider should never be in range to actually shoot you. So you just keep chipping away at him, hitting him constantly with twin-linked last cannon shots. And you can take it out. To be honest, I think Riku needs to do a flank to help Mathis out here with a twin-linked last cannon Predator. If he takes out even just one of these Dreadnoughts, that'll be a huge help. But if both of these Dreadnoughts for Innie fall, then Innie's force is quite useless. You know, just a Sniper Scout, Tech Marine, Plasma Attacks, it's not a very strong standing infantry force. Then Big Mathis should be able to control this VP constantly. But Big Mathis obviously right now is failing to take out the Dreadnoughts, so he needs some assistance from his teammate. So the Predators are really good against the Dreadnoughts and the Land Raider, but in terms of the actual firefights and taking VPs, you want Terminators. So blue team are in a tricky spot right now because they want both. You can't get both, not straight away. Gotta love this Dreadnought and vehicle focus play for the Tech Marine. Just holding this 2-to-1 cap, and they've made up most of the VP deficit that they had actually at this point, the red team. Twin-linked las cannon for the Chaos Predator is on the field. Riku really needs to respond with a las cannon of his own here. The Space Marine Predator with its extra armor does have 200 more HP to the shitty armor of the Chaos one, but it'll still win with the Chaos one if it's got the last cannon. There is a Melter Gun Tech Marine though here to help, and he has Orbs of the Omnissiah. Orbs are going in. Orbs are going in, not dodged. So that shuts down the Chaos Predator for a while. Unfortunately, oh no. Oh, hang on. Big Mathis is here to save the day. There you go. Flank from Big Mathis wipes out the Predator with the last cannon because the Tech Marine was lifted up by the Drain Life from the Chaos Lord. Turret gets taken out once again by the Raptors. I think they need to stop these turret players. It's not important right now. But Big Mathis forced to rotate up to the VP that they already had because there is not enough of a force here right now to deal with the Land Raider Redeemer. So Riku is going to get his own Land Raider Redeemer, but that's not going to help because you need to own the VPs for the Land Raider Redeemer to be useful in the first place. And right now, the red team are in control of the VPs. They need a way to dislodge the red team from this central position. I mean, we do have potential for nukes from both of the blue team players. That could be their play. Still, I think that would only result in a neutral cap rather than a positive cap in favour of the blue team. So we could get a very long game here with a neutral central VP and Land Raiders on either side, and both teams unable to really dislodge one another. We'll have to see. ASM now on the field for Ini, probably going to see some Vanguard veterans. Not sure how effective that will be. Okay, Terminators are here finally for Big Mathis, so he's going to have the infantry focus. Makes sense, because he's got the Librarian, so he can support them quite well. I'm still worried about their ability to take out the Land Raider though. The fact that they don't have the VP themselves is a problem. If this was a one-to-one cap, neutral situation, then I would be less concerned. Massive, massive push from the red team. The Imperial Abyss goes down straight on top of the Land Raider. That wiped out something, but the blue team are going to counter with orbital bombardments of their own, and that is in quite a brutal choke point. Picks up some of the units. I can't even tell what's going on right now. There's so much carnage. Librarian is getting beaten up by the Raptors. Gets healed by the Apothecary. The Land Raider Redeemer has pulled back. We finally see that twin-link las cannon coming out for the Predator. Blessings of the Omnissiah has been dropped by Inekura, so those Dreadnoughts are healing up under all of this fire, but I think the normal Dreadnought might go down here. One more hit from the Predator should take it out, but the VPs are getting so low. Okay, the Predator does take out the Dreadnought. CSM back off. They'll get Blood Sacrifice, so Bloodletters are out. Stalling from the red team. They're all going to fall back to the Land Raider Redeemer. There is not a lot of infantry here for the blue team. ASM are going to move forward. They're going to put pressure onto the southern VP. Red team have nothing there to respond at the moment. We didn't see the Vanguard in the end. I think it was a little bit... The combat started too soon. Nice grenade there on the las cannon Havocs. But the Chaos Lord has been a nuisance, capping the northern VP, and the VPs are a serious problem right now for the blue team. Plasma Gun Tactical Marines there from Inekura, putting on some good DPS to those Terminators. Kill one of the Terminators with that Plasma Gun. The Venerable Dreadnought is charging forward, just delaying at this point. I think Red Team are going for that VP victory. I noticed the Chaos Lord has stopped the cap on the top. Heretics are taking it over, but there is nothing from the blue team in order to prevent that. The blue team have managed at this point to grab that southern VP, but for how long? Tech Marine tried to prevent it, Tech Marine is killed, and the Vendread has committed rather deep here. It can't get out. It is going to fall to the Predator eventually. However, it is a 2-to-1 cap in favour of the red team. Riku is unable at the moment to contest the northern VP, attempting to get the decap on the mid with scouts, but they are wiped. I'm seeing a serious lack of infantry. Riku has lost all of his army. The Vendread did fall to the Predator, but he's only got P-Devs to cap. There is nothing that can cap right now. Terminators and Tax are still on the field of Big Mathis, but they're only down to very few models. They're going to have to retreat. There is a single model of ASM in the mid. That's wiped. And the Venerable Dreadnought dropped by Dark Riku, charging forward, not achieving a whole lot. It's just charging into Mark of Tzeentch, Havocs, and Meltagun Raptors. That is the game. No time for the blue team. No infantry left to cap. That Riku actually lost his Land Raider. How did he even lose the Land Raider? I didn't even notice. How did that happen? Wow, I really didn't even notice that. Crazy, crazy finale there. Some strategic mistakes from the blue team, I think, for sure. And some instances where I think they really needed better coordination, doing double pushes, and they just weren't able to achieve it. There you go, the red team managed to pull out the victory, even though they were behind on VPs for such a long period of the game. Like I said early on in this cast, Astartes in the late game in team games, especially on these laney maps, Pull out those P-Devs, pull out the Land Raider Redeemer. They are a pain in the arse to remove, and they can just take 500 VPs off of you when they've only got 50 left on a 2-to-1 cap. Blue team here unfortunately discovered that problem. And I think finally, getting that Land Raider Redeemer when you have the 1 cap and they have the 2 cap was a big mistake. You need to push the enemy back, hold the VP, then you get the Land Raider Redeemer. But, you know, there you go. Nice high-level game, full of Astartes. What do you expect in 2v2, eh? Hope you did enjoy that, guys. Torpid out.